Hello everybody, today we are going to discuss about random sampling, simple and stratified, non-random sampling, quota, purposive and snowball sampling. Random sampling. The random sampling method is also often called probability sampling. In random sampling, all units or items in the population have a chance of being chosen in the sample. Probability sampling is also known as random sampling, or we can say the chance sampling. Under this sampling design, every item of the universe has an equal chance of inclusion in the sample. It is, so to say, a lottery method in which individual units are picked up from the whole group, not deliberately but through some process. Simple random sampling. A simple random sample is one in which each item in the total population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. In this method, each member has an equal chance of being selected in the study. The objects in the sample population are chosen purely on a random basis, and each member has the same probability of being selected. So this picture shows this is the whole population, and the sample is drawn from this population, and each member of the population has the equal chance of being selected in the sample. So from the first line, the 3 is randomly selected, and similarly 5 is randomly selected, and 11. So it shows that in the simple random sampling, each and every member in the population has the equal chance of being selected in the sample. So following criteria should meet the simple random sampling, that every member of the population must have an equal chance of inclusion in the sample, and the selection of one member is not affected by the selection of previous members. Suppose we can say that if a university dean would like to collect feedback from students about their perception of teachers and the level of education, all 1000 students in the university could be a part of this sample, and any 100 students can be selected randomly to be a part of this sample. So next is the stratified random sampling. In stratified random sampling, the researcher divides the subjects into subgroups called strata based on the characteristics that they share, like their age, education, gender, etc. So after defining the population into strata, the researcher randomly selects the proportion population proportionally. So under stratified sampling, as the population is divided into several subpopulations that are the individually more homogeneous than the total population, and then we select items from each stratum to constitute a sample. Since each stratum is more homogeneous than the total population, so we are able to get more precise estimates for each stratum, and by estimating more accurately each of the component parts, we can get a better estimate of the whole. So in brief, stratified sampling results in more reliable and detailed information. So for example, the company has 800 female employees and 200 male employees, and we want to ensure that the sample reflects the gender balance of the company. So we have to we sort the population into two stratas based on the gender, like male and female, and then we use the simple random sampling on each group, selecting 80 women and 20 men, which give us a representative sample of 100 people. So in the picture shows the whole population, and then the population is divided into two stratas, male and female, and then from this data we randomly choose the sample. From the male part we have chosen this sample randomly, and from the female part from we have chosen this sample. So in the stratified sampling, first the population is divided based on their characteristics into two stratas, and after dividing the population into two stratas, we randomly select the sample from this strata based on their characteristics. So next is the non-random sampling. or non-probability sampling. So non-probability sampling is that sampling procedure which does not afford any basis for estimating the probability that each item in the population has a being included in the sample. So, non-probability sampling is also known by different names such as deliberate sampling, purposive sampling, and judgment sampling. So, in this type of sampling, items for the sample are selected deliberately by the researcher, and his choice concerning the items remains supreme. So, in other words, we can say that under non-probability sampling, the organizers of the inquiry purposefully choose the particular units of the universe for constituting a sample on the basis that the small mass that they so select out of the huge one will be typical or representative of the whole. So, for instance, if economic conditions of people living in a state has to be studied, a few towns in villages may be deliberately or purposely selected for the intensive study on the principle that they can be the representative of the entire state. So, the judgment of the organizers of the study plays an important part in this sampling design. So, in the non-random sampling, we have to study the quota sampling, purposive sampling, and snowball sampling. So, first is the quota sampling. So, quota sampling is a method of collecting a sample based on their strata. It is commonly used in marketing research studies. The sample are collected on the basis of some parameters such as age, sex, geographical region, education, income, occupation in order to make them as a representative sample. So, quota sampling means to take a sample that's in proportion to some characteristics or trait of a population. For example, we could divide a population through their income, through their education level, or sex. The population is then divided into groups called strata, and the samples are taken from each group to meet a quota. For example, if the population consists of 45% female and 55% male, our sample should reflect those percentages. So, quota sampling is based on the researcher's judgment and is considered a non probability sampling. The purpose of quota sampling is to ensure that various subgroups of the population are represented. For example, if a city has 10 market centers, a soft drink company may decide to interview 50 consumers from each of these 10 market centers to take the information on their products. So it is entirely left to the investigator, left to the researcher. It is on the discretion of the researcher that whom she will interview at each of the market centers and the time of interview. There are certain advantages of quota sampling, like it's very easy to administer, fast to create and complete, and inexpensive. And next is the purposive sampling. Purposive sampling is also known as judgment sampling. In this method of sampling, the selection of sample is based on the researcher's judgment about some appropriate characteristics required for sample units. Judgment sampling is often used in forecasting election results. The process of selecting a sample using judgmental sampling involves the researchers carefully picking, carefully choosing the individual which he wants to be a part in his sample study. The researcher's knowledge is very much taken into consideration, and it's primary in the sampling process as the members of the samples are not randomly chosen. He may choose on his own judgment. So it's very much essential that the researcher should have the knowledge of the respondents. So it is a sampling techniques in which the researcher relies on his or her own judgment when choosing members of the population to participate in the study. For example, TV reporters stopping certain individuals on the street in order to ask their opinions about certain political changes constitute the most popular example of this sampling method. But it also depends upon the TV reporters whom they stop for their opinions. It totally depends on the judgment of the researcher. It is the purposive sampling. The pic shows the researcher's own judgment. He may choose the respondents on the basis of his own efficiency, on the basis of his own research experience to whom he wants to choose for his sample for his interview. And the last is the snowball sampling. It is a sampling method that researchers apply when the subjects are difficult to trace. For example, it will be extremely difficult to survey the illegal immigrants. So, in such cases, using the snowball theory, the researcher can take a few categories to interview. So, if the population is hard to access, hard to find, snowball sampling can be used to recruit participants via other participants. So, it's a channel, it's a medium. The number of people you have to access to snowball as you get in contact with more people. For example, we are researching experiences of homelessness in our city. Since there is no list of all homeless people in the city, so it is not possible to collect the data. So probability sampling is not possible. We will choose one person who will agree to participate in the research, and then he or she will put us in contacts with other homeless people that she knows. So in this way we will get the data about the homeless people in our city. So, in snowball sampling, after observing the initial object, the researcher asked for assistance from the subject to help and identify the people with similar traits. This is a sampling technique in which existing objects provide referrals to recruit samples required for a research study. Suppose we are collecting the feedback about a sensitive topic like AIDS. So respondents are not happily forthcoming with this type of information. So in this case, the researchers can recruit people with an understanding, with the information, with the knowledge of such people, and then collect information from them or ask them to collect information about other peoples in the city. So it's the example, the picture of snowball sampling. Here is the one person who knows about the other people's, we can say the homeless peoples in the city. He will puts us, he will connect us to other these two people, and these two people will further connect us with other peoples, with other groups of people. So in this way, there is a chain connection, how one person refers to another and the another person refers to multiple persons. Thank you.